Hi, I'm Vivian. I'm an artist at Balay Kreative. I'm a visual artist and muralist as well. Interestingly enough, I didn't really grow up doing art. I actually started drawing when I was an adult, probably about, I'd say 5-6 years ago, and I felt like I had to start from scratch. I taught myself how to draw just by learning off YouTube, watching other people draw as well, and it just became like one of those things where I realized that I wanted to like really hone this craft. You know, you go throughout life not really knowing what you want to do in life, and all of a sudden when you come across this hobby when you're a lot older, it just kind of felt like it was a step in the right direction. It felt right. Like I don't really know how to explain it, but throughout the pandemic, I really focused on trying to hone my craft by drawing like realistically, taking risks with a lot of color, and that's kind of how it kind of came to be. I just practiced so much during quarantine that it just kind of became its own thing over time. From what I've experienced and from what I've known, I've, you know, just always wanted to make people happy with my art, and I want to say that I've done justice to that. At least I love making things that just make people happy, making things that are nostalgic to me and have certain connections and memories with other people as well. So I want to say that like my art is a source of happiness for other people. You know, I just want to bring joy. Like times have been like really hard lately, so I think, you know, having like vibrant colors and bringing like these personal connections with, you know, drawing portraits and people have really been a source of happiness for me and for other people. Yeah. It influences it pretty drastically. Actually, one of my very first pieces that I've done like digital art is right above me. It's a crossover of Bob Ross and Mac Dre. So it was one of the first pieces that I've ever done, and actually the first piece that I've done with color. So it's very special to me. Growing up in the Bay, like I grew up like sprinkled up and down the peninsula, so I have a pretty like fair grasp on like what the culture is here. This place is home to me. The people here have made it home to me, and you know, being around the food, the people, the culture and places here have been like really strong influence in my nostalgic upbringing that directly influenced my art itself. Yeah. I'd say, you know, living in the Bay, like I grew up in Daly City and South City, so if you are from there, you know that there's a lot of Filipino people there. And I also grew up in a largely Filipino community, so having like that source of my roots and culture has been instilled from the beginning. And I think it's just been a privilege to grow up with that and learn from that as I've gotten older. You know, because there have been like situations when it's just like you have like wanted to like stray away from it, but being here in the Bay and as a film has like really rooted me like in my culture, and it's only wanted to make me learn more from being here. So it's a process. I'd say the biggest Filipino woman influence, like I can't pinpoint it down to one, but I grew up in a family. I grew up with 2 older sisters and a bunch of older female cousins. So those people have been my influence throughout like my whole life in terms of, you know, pop culture, fashion, just paving the way for me to have this freedom of expression to be myself. So I'm very grateful for that. Honestly, in the morning when I get up, I listen to a bunch of music. I feel like music really sets the day for me. It's one of those things that help me become like a more confident person throughout the day. So music really like sets the tone. It doesn't matter what kind of music it is, but to tap into my power, it's how I center myself is through music and knowing what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. Yeah. Ooh, 3 essential items that I use every day. So I'll start with my hydro flask. I have it right here. I use my hydro flask every day because it's important to drink water. I use this all the time. And I also wear this necklace every day, so I actually got this in the Vatican and at the Notre Dame. So they're two pendants that I wear around my neck all the time. They've been just like a constant source of protection. The only time I take it off is like when I shower. I even like wear it when I sleep, so it's always been there for me. And the third thing I'd say is, I'm gonna go back to it again, music. So I listen to music every single day, and music is actually one of the inspirations I have like for my art. Having those three things, you know, we have something that feeds my body, something like music that clears my mind, and prayer by pendants that nourish my soul. So. Oh, it means so much for me to be here. This is my first artist residency. So I only started getting involved with the art community last year when I joined Balay. And, you know, to be here is like such a blessing. Like, I've met such great people, and everyone here has been like so kind and nice to introduce me to this whole community that personally like I knew nothing about like before even joining here. Yeah, getting involved with the community here has been a really, really fun thing. And, you know, I hope to do more of it over time. So yeah, to be in Balay is, it's a total blessing for sure. For Balay, I've done a few things here. I'd say probably the biggest things that I have done were my murals at Couple Gardens. So yeah, my Madonna and Child mural right here, and then the one that's behind it is the Last Supper. So those two were my, you know, culture clash of Renaissance and Filipino culture. And I've also created, you know, just like a couple of practice pieces here. I've done like this one right here, and then behind me, probably like one of my favorite ones that I've done. Just a lot of like personal projects and yeah, commissions as well. I am actually, I'm in the middle of like this commission right here, right now, working on this currently right here. So I'm in the middle of like doing a few commissions, also working on an upcoming mural that's gonna be here in the city. So I just finished helping Chichai with her Kaina mural in Mission Bay as well. So it's a little busy, but also I want to really focus on doing a lot of like personal projects, kind of like recenter like my voice within art itself. So that's my goal for this year as well. Honestly, one of my, not really just like one project in particular, but as someone who loves to travel, I would love to do a mural in each city I travel to. Like, I know that sounds really far-fetched, but when I travel, one of the things I always like to touch up on is what art is in this city, what art is like in this place. And I think traveling has really impacted a lot of my art itself. Just like learning from other cultures and wanting to integrate that into my own art is something that, you know, I would love to share, and like probably I would like to leave that as my legacy when I leave this earth. So, yeah. I'm just happy to be here. That's all. Yeah.